Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. It is now time to review headlines of today's papers.
All right, Kachi, we go straight as we do it. First to this day, the newspaper of record. We'll start from top to bottom. The window story says, again, national electricity grid supply suffers disruption. Minister condemns attack on Ikeja Disco. Discos want errant officers punished. I mean, we discussed this earlier during the week that was. The component that we didn't, that is fresh here is the fact that the grid is still epileptic. The minister will have to, find a way. People are not happy with what is going on. Yes, a few institutions are owing the discos, but the point is that supply is still very epileptic. And those that you are designating as Band A or Band B can't even, I do not know any area in Lagos as of today that is getting the Band A promise.
I'm saving right now for inverter.
Everybody's going the inverter way. All right, under that story, Tinubu, Jonathan, Obi, Abiodun Ikimi, Labour Party, the funked NRC, Mon Doyin Okupe. That story is on page 5 of today's This Day. The doctor turned politician who has just passed away, people are still paying condolences, and we also did earlier in the program. Yeah. And below the masthead, IWD 2025, female CEOs, CSOs share insights on challenges hindering women's progress. Of course, that's in tandem with the celebration of the International Women's Day today. What will you ladies be doing, by the way? It's a Saturday and it's International Women's Day. Anything happening?
I'm working.
I'm working. The ladies' network that our guest spoke about.
There are a few, like WIMBIZ, which is...
Her Economy, I believe.
Her Economy.
As well.
You have Womanifesto.
Yeah.
So we do have a few organizations, but I did really appreciate our guest earlier because she did speak truth to power, and she was absolutely brilliant.
She did. I think there's one thing I'm definitely going to be leaving here with. It is the fact that as women, there's a lot that we can do in our minds. It might be difficult at this time, but we must never forget that the power really lies in what you have up here and not what the world tells
clarification she gave on what constitutes power and what you can do to access it. That's wonderful. All right, a couple of more stories. Rumbling in PDP deepens as party sets up South-South Zonal Caretaker Committee. PDP is still in.
They're still rumbling.
Swimming in rumbling waters.
Honestly,
we'll see how it goes, but it doesn't look like there is any respite.
Every day trouble in PDP, and nothing comes of it. Nothing changes.
One day, one trouble.
Exactly.
All right. The lead story itself: Minister seeks lifting of Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension, pledges federal government's intervention, and the riders PDP. Action Aid Nigeria, Atiku Kick, insists Akpabio must submit self for open, independent investigation. This is one topic that won't go away. I'm not sure how to look at the intervention that the Minister of Women is promising. I like the way she spoke. But then on the one hand, she's saying this should not have happened. And then on the other hand, she says that we will speak with the Senate to temper justice with mercy.
It's exactly what she said earlier about when you... I mean, not to say that I agree with how she said it, but what you said about beating the child with one hand and embracing with the other. Now, in Nigeria... I don't agree. That's why I emphasize that while I don't agree in certain instances, but in Nigeria, as women, there is and it's not something that is... I would say with a younger generation, it's different because, of course, internationally, you have things like the Me Too movement and the likes, but there's a culture of just submission and quiet. You stay quiet and calm. So that's why you have instances where, on one hand, she's saying temper justice with mercy, and on the other hand, she's talking about getting the federal government involved because that culture still persists, and it is still insisting that, listen...
It is.
It is.
And I think
because
I can never I can never agree because it's also important that we're talking about International Women's Day, and I hope you can bring up the punch now because we don't
Okay.
have a lot of time, but just going off of International Women's Day, a lot of what happened on the Senate, the reason I didn't disagree is that a lot of the senators were referring to her as my daughter, a recalcitrant child, this, you know, a girl. She is not a girl. She's an elected senator.
And Bakri Yusuf was here last Saturday. I wasn't there, but she nailed that point.
She really nailed it. And so, no, but let's bring up the Punch, because just going, because we're still on International Women's Day there, and the Punch has important stories, because beyond what happened.
The lead story says Natasha's suspension. FG intervenes as female coalition threatens showdown.
Yeah, and also beyond that, under that, we have a story. I now live in regret after boyfriend poured acid on me, a digital marketer. Just last week, there was another story of femicide coming out of my city, Benin City. When we're talking about women and International Women's Day, we also need to talk about the fact that we have serious issues in Nigeria when it comes to violence against women, and we need structural changes. And I'm very happy that the Minister of Women Affairs is getting involved in these different issues, and I hope.
Fantastic. Yeah, makes sense, isn't it?
Yes, we'll get there.
All right. Okay, it looks like we have to run now. Kachi, Angel Kachi, as we say here, welcome on board.
Thank you so much for
having me. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Happy International Women's Day.
All right, then. That brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching, and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde. I'm
Kachi Ofia. Many thanks for being a part of the show.
Well, everyone, make sure that you are an agent of change and that you are a powerful woman. I'm Adesu Agiwa-Osage, and from our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day.